Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of HPCritical Podcast Crew, where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I know that y'all missed us last week, but, shit happens. But we're back, and we're recording super late, so I apologize if, we all look tired or, things go off the rails. It's a crazy podcast, but a crazy time of the day. It's like 10 p.m., so, things happen. We're recording.
Kelly literally just said she's feeling frisky, so, I mean...
HPCritical After Dark, like, we'll see what happens. But because you guys missed us last week, we're going to talk a little bit about some gaming news last week and then fill in with some stuff this week. And we will eventually get a Gabe joining the call for all our Gabe fans out there in the world who like listening for his wrong opinions on things. And until then, let me introduce you all to my lovely co-host. Jarrell Levy is my name. And we've got Brandon.
Hello, everybody.
Kelly.
Hi, guys.
And Sterling as a very special guest who I drug on last minute. Thank you, Sterling, for joining us.
Looking cool, Sterling.
This is totally
to stop.
This is totally a plug for his podcast coming up, Memory Card Memoirs, which a few of us are on from HP Critical, talking about a lovely special, video game. So you definitely have to just look out and listen to hear us talk about video games that we love.
It might be related to the shirt I'm wearing, possibly.
Yes, sir.
Wow, excuse me. Sorry, guys. And anyway, let's just hop right into some gaming news from last week and our gaming entertainment news from last week, and then we'll talk about some stuff from this week. So the first thing I want to talk about from last week is from GameSpot.com, and it says, amid controversy between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Aquaman 2 filmmakers make it clear that the Twitterverse doesn't dictate the story they want to tell. So I'm gonna just summarize this a little bit. Basically, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp have been going through this nasty legal battle where he has claimed that she has claimed that he has assaulted her, and he said all of those accusations are completely unfounded. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that we have found out that they were indeed unfounded. It
was actually like she
the other way
assaulted
around,
him.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you do, Twitter has said, Amber Heard should be punished for what she's done. And lots of people think that she should be removed from Aquaman 2 as a punishment for what she's done. And there is the discourse of, if she were a man doing this, she would have gotten removed from the, movie, but she's a woman and she's a pretty woman and she feels like she can get away with a lot of things. The director, excuse me, will not remove Amber Heard because of Johnny Depp fans. In an interview, one producer makes it clear that the Twitterverse doesn't dictate the story they want to tell. This is by David Walensky. According to producers, the creative team behind the upcoming Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom gave no credence whatsoever to the online petition calling on Warner Bros. To remove actor Amber Heard from the movie. Indeed, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom began production on July 19th, and Heard is reprising her role as Atlantean Queen Mera. The public appeal was another one of those things that makes you question what the internet is ultimately good for. Heard has characterized the appeal previously as a paid campaign instigated by fans of her ex-husband Johnny Depp, who previously was asked to back from his role in Fantastic Beasts 3 after UK tabloid called him a wife beater. So he's already lost a role due to this. And people on the internet put a petition saying that she should lose hers. One is not unaware of what is going on in the Twitterverse, but that doesn't mean you have to react to it or take it as gospel or accede to their wishes, said Safran, who is one of the producers on the film. You have to do what's right for the film. All right, so that's that. How y'all feel about that?
I feel like if you have a movie as, really, unpopular as Aquaman, and you're going to, Jason Momoa is shirtless.
Yeah.
That's the one redeeming quality of it.
Yep.
So you're going to have a movie, Aquaman 2. It's not even like any part of the Justice League. There's nothing like special about it at all. And then like people are demanding that you get rid of this one person and you're not. Like, do you want anyone to watch your movie? Like, do you want anyone to watch your movie? Because I'm not.
Dang.
I'll catch the highlights of Jason Momoa shirtless. That will be it. But like, it's not like a big ticket movie that everyone like wants to see. Does anybody care about Aquaman?
Like the first one.
Care about?
I liked it.
The first
I
one
enjoyed
made
the
like
first
$1 billion, didn't it?
Well, I have no idea how much money it made, but
I don't know
I
don't know the sales. I just know I went to see it and I enjoyed it.
Oh, well, then I digress. I have not seen it.
It's not good. It's nothing special.
That's what I thought. I didn't think it was good. I thought it was bad. And then she has like, doesn't she have like fake red hair? Like, is she Ariel? She's like, I don't know. It was like underwater, but it's like not. Yeah. I'm like, it's just weird. But Jason Momoa, my Khal Drogo, my son-in-law. I mean, I'd want to pay him, but that's about it.
I just think that I think it's less about what Twitter wants and more about the integrity of your project. I just feel like, you know, if someone has lied about something as serious as abuse in a relationship, and then it's not only is it unfounded, but it turns out that this person has been the abuser, you don't get to continue to, you know, profit and just, you know, be what you were before after it's been exposed to what you are. I think it's just about being a good person, but I also think, of course, you know, there's the whole, there are contracts here, we don't want to pay her out, and like I'm sure they just don't want to pay her out and like, you know, get someone else, or, you know, try to have to continue with a new Queen Mira or write a new character or whatever. I'm sure it's just a lot of work, but it's also about being a good person. So that's all I gotta say about it.
To give my little 2 cents, I think it definitely shows the massive double standard that Johnny Depp got fired from
his movie,
from Jack Sparrow and from being in Harry Potter, and then it comes out that Amber Heard's the abuser, and just nobody seems to give a fuck, and
she gets to keep her role.
And again, like it just kind of goes to show, I'm not saying this to like dismiss other people's like plights and problems, but like when it comes to abuse and like suicide with men, like it's a much different story, right? Like the rates of it happening are much higher than people think, and when it comes out, it just seems like the narrative is like, be a man and just suck it up, which is very bad. But yeah.
Brandon, anything?
Not too much more than what was already said, but it's just like Sterling said, this is a disgusting double standard at the moment, that he was accused of this and still, to my knowledge, doesn't have those roles back or whatever. Don't know if he would even accept at this point, if it'd be like a matter of pride or whatever. But yeah, the fact that she's still like continuing role when it was like revealed that she was, it's just like, it's like you said, Jerome, maybe it's less a matter of like contracts or whatever, but like I feel like if there's any kind of like other serious repercussions, I feel like their hand would be forced, and maybe that's just what they're waiting for their hand to be literally forced, so they don't have to deal with no legal BS. But like, I imagine this whole issue is probably a lot more complicated than any of us realize, but at the end of the day, it's just not right. That's all there is to it.
All right, well, moving right along, recently released was Midnight Suns, the Marvel game that is an epic tactical RPG set in the darker side of the Marvel universe, featuring Blade, among other characters. Yes, I did bring him up because he's a black guy. And he's a really awesome character. Marvel tactical RPG. Thoughts?
Well, okay. So I made a tweet about this, that when they revealed that this is a Marvel game that's a tactical RPG, and then when they showed gameplay that it's a card-based tactical RPG, I already knew that's going to turn so many people off. There's so many people who are like, nope, don't care. Don't like cards, don't like tactical RPG. I certainly don't like card games with tactical RPG with cards. But for me, I'm super in. I am super in, because like I've played my share of like card-based games, and I enjoy tactical RPGs. That's not a secret. So and then looking at how the gameplay was, like married these two things together, it looks like it's going to be really entertaining. I want to see more gameplay, but the basic concept they showed is interesting. And also, you know, Marvel Midnight Suns, it's this game that's like, it's bringing out these characters that we don't often see. Like, you know, we often see Iron Man, we see Captain America all the time. Those are like the core Marvel characters you see. But then we're also seeing, like you said, Blade, how often does he appear in a game besides like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games? How we never see Nico Minoru from the Runaways, never. You don't see Magic. These are characters that you just don't see, and that they're finally getting like this spotlight and like this in like this game, along with the character that you control as well. I'm just super excited, not just because representation of characters you don't normally see, but I know the gameplay is not going to be for everyone, but I know I'm personally invested in it. It's something that I'm definitely looking forward to, and I'm going to be quiet because Gabe is finally here.
Yes, welcome back, Gabe. We love to see it.
Bow, bow, bow,
Gabe
bow,
fans,
bow, bow.
we're missing you.
Like the two of you. Hello,
That's
Babies
an
are
ambitious
hard.
I'm
number.
one of those two.
Oh my gosh, Sterling's here.
And yes, Sterling's here. Wow, he cares more about Sterling than Russell.
I like the shave, Jarrell. Your shaves look really nice.
Thank you. I was actually just
Digging the-
complaining about it.
Digging the beanie, Brandon, Kelly, beautiful as always. It's nice to
Aw.
see everybody.
That's so sweet. I feel like
It's
we
my
should go-
Friday. I'm happy as hell. I've been
Oh
working.
yeah, that's what's up.
I had a full. For those that don't know, I used to be a part timer, and I just made the transition to a full time schedule at my job, and they had to be coming in at 6 a.m. on Tuesday for some training. And let me tell you, after that, I was like, I need it to be Thursday. I need to stop. But yeah, hello everybody.
All right, yeah. So anyone else on Midnight Suns? Marvel's Midnight Suns tactical RPG?
So excited for it, except for the RPG moment aspect of it. I don't know if Brandon mentioned it, but they showed a little bit of gameplay and the combat gameplay and the camera angle. I'm hoping it was just something that happened for the trailer, but the camera angle was it kind of looked like a third-person shooter type camera angle.
Mhm.
But you're playing a tactical RPG, and ideally you want to have, an over-the-top view of that. So that's the only thing I'm a little iffy about. But, I feel like tactical RPGs for superhero games isn't, the normal approach. But I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, it's very different for a Marvel superhero game. It's certainly something they really don't do that often. And I do agree about the camera angle. Like, yeah, I like to see as much of the field as possible if I'm playing a tactical game. So hopefully that's just something they do for like action shots. They still have time to show gameplay. This game's not coming out till March, so we got like 6 months. So they got time. I'm definitely invested to see more though.
It's done by the team that works on XCOM, so I mean, you gotta trust them with that tactical gameplay.
Oh yeah, they're good with. They can do their tactics.
All right, well, I have no opinions. Kelly, do you have any opinions? All right, great. I'm gonna move on then, and I'm sure it's gonna be cool. Blade's in it. Streamer Tim the Tat Man will now stream exclusively on YouTube, leaving behind 7 million followers and over 30,000 subscribers from Twitch. Tell me, what do y'all think?
Dr. Lupo also left, actually.
How many?
Like
do you know his stats?
I could probably find it. Actually, will his channel be deleted? I wonder. Yeah, a lot. They were really popular streamers, and now like they're just gone. I mean, I can't imagine how much YouTube must have paid them. They were probably some of the highest paid people on Twitch.
That was gonna be my question. Like, what was the reason? That were they paid to leave? Like, because I remember the whole.
I thought.
Okay, so Dr. Lupo has 4.5 million followers.
All right, someone else go ahead. I don't want to speak out
On
of turn.
Twitch.
Sorry.
Well,
Go ahead,
I
Brandon.
just literally don't understand why. Like, I remember the whole Ninja thing. Like, he got paid an obscene amount of money to go to Mixer. Then, of course, Mixer died. He went back to Twitch. But like, what's the reason for this shift? Like, is it the Twitch controversy? Is it they thought a YouTube audience would be better? Like,
They must have gotten paid. They must have gotten paid. There's I can't imagine another reason to leave.
But I wonder if also has to do with the Dr. Disrespect thing, because remember he got banned from Twitch and there's never a reason. And up until recently, he finally said like, we're taking them to court, whatever, because I know the reason now, blah, blah, blah. And like Tim the Tatman and Dr. Reason and Dr. Disrespect, they're very
Dr. Lupo.
Huh?
Dr. Lupo?
No, I was talking about Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, okay. It's too many doctors.
Yeah, that for real. Let's stop with the generic names, people. But yeah, Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tatman, they seem to have a friendship that extends beyond the streaming stuff. So I wonder if it has to do with that too. But I definitely think they were paid to leave
Yeah,
a fat sum.
Oh my god! I just remember there was a professional Smash player as well who, for a while, went by the name Dr. PP, and then when he got like really big, he realized this name is not going to work out. And so he changed his name to PPMD.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm like, this name sucks.
Dr. PP.
Yeah.
I don't like how Tim the Tatman announced it though on the day of the Twitch strike. I feel like that was
the most
planned.
opportune day to announce it. What do you mean? Like that's when you would announce it.
But like, I don't know. I feel like
his reasoning
with some of the fans. Yeah, I feel like some of the fans were like, "Oh, he's doing it because Twitch is not doing anything for its streamers, whatever." But like, I'm like,
that ain't the real reason. The real reason he got that bag.
You do it then.
Oh, well, no, yeah, of course.
The whole point.
Because it looks like you're so committed to the movement that you're never fucking coming back. Like,
yep.
Even though you might.
I was like, oh man, he's so committed. He'll just never stream on Twitch again. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but again, like Kelly said, you can't just leave behind 7 million followers like
for nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
There was definitely some money involved there. There's gotta be.
They're all gonna come over to YouTube. Fun.
Yeah,
if they love your content, they're gonna go watch your YouTube. Yeah, like it's gonna happen. So let's move on if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
So Far Cry 6 previews came out last week at some point, and there's an article at Kotaku written by Ethan Gack titled, "If you're going to preview Far Cry 6, at least do it right. Some of the latest takes on Ubisoft's next open world shooter have been truly uninspired." I'm going to read a little bit of this for you guys, and then I just want to get your overall opinion on this. Far Cry 6 is still over a month out from release, and while there remains plenty we don't know yet, a massive batch of hands-on previews dropped this week across various gaming outlets and influencer videos, shedding more light on the game. The problem is what they illuminate and what they don't. They paint Far Cry 6 as the latest predictable blockbuster, albeit one with aspirations of saying something meaningful about revolution and the oppression that spurs it. Sound familiar? The previews seem to just be there to tell us whether the shooting is any good and what novel ways Ubisoft has found to dress up its to-do list, icon-filled maps, rather than to integrate why we should expect anything more from Far Cry this time around. In some ways, it feels like we've learned nothing at all. Not your grandfather's revolution, quipped IGN. Far Cry 6 is a huge game in every sense, announced VG247. It looks to be a big, beautiful game, concluded VentureBeat. Even the previews that acknowledged the series' troubled thematic past remained optimistic it might not get in the way this time around. Hopefully, the enjoyment we get from flying around in our wingsuits, firing over-the-top weapons, and fighting alongside a cute wiener dog named Chorizo doesn't contrast too harshly with the story of an island in political peril, wrote Game Informer. What I've learned from previews like these and others, Kotaku was not invited to these demos, is that Far Cry 6 will let you force helicopters to land so you can steal them rather than just blowing them up. The series' skill tree has been replaced with a loot-based system where stats and abilities are activated by equipping new guns and armor. Chickens, alligators, and other murderous amigos will even fight by your side while you're torching island compounds with DIY flamethrowers. What I've heard much less about, if anything at all, is what Far Cry 6 does to prevent itself from feeling like another gory vacation to an exoticized country created by Canadian studios under the umbrella of a French company. Maybe that's by design. Narrative payoffs are an easy thing to hide from preview demos under the auspices of not spoiling anything. I'm going to stop there. Y'all get where this is going. Essentially, the author saying, all these places that are previewing this game are saying the same thing. They're talking about the mechanics, etc. None of them are actually talking about what the studio is doing to make Far Cry a serious game, to make sure that the subject matter that they're touching is actually talked about. There's been a little discourse on this because some people feel that when you're writing an article like this, you shouldn't call out other outlets because they're doing their job. And then, some people, whatever. How do y'all feel about it?
I don't know. I saw the tweet and I was like, and then I read the article and I was like, I don't get it. But I guess because I needed someone else to read it to me, as stupid as that sounds. But I don't know. I saw a lot of people were getting mad. Well, you said they were getting mad because they called out other outlets, but there's some people in the comment section of that tweet that Kotaku put up, and they said something about letting Hispanics review it or letting Hispanics or Latinx get to do the ones that they should be the ones doing the previews and whatnot. So I'm out all of sorts of what I don't know what people are actually mad at.
Okay, well, I'll try to explain it as far as I understand. Yes, a lot of people do believe that because this is essentially a video game based on based on Cuba, right? Like it's based on that type of regime. That's what the game is about. Like, we already know it's going to be a political game, and because it's set in that Hispanic culture, people would appreciate if more Latinx content creators got to review these video games, because they would have an understanding that, like, say, someone else would not. So that's a part of what you read in the comments, which I think is completely understandable, right? Like if there's never mind. You guys get it. I'm not gonna make I just talked about how I'm always doing this to Kelly. I'm not going to do it again. But you guys get the point. So some people were saying that there are nuances to how this is handled, and someone with a Latinx, background might be able to understand that better and see what's done right and what's done wrong, especially because this is a company that is not Latinx in any sense. But also, this person, Ethan, who wrote this article, is saying that everyone else who wrote previews about it talks about the gameplay, but none of them actually talk about the nuances of what happens within the game based on the culture that they're emulating. That's what he's saying, essentially. Does that make sense? Yeah. And some people are like, technically it's IGN's job to write about the game, right? Like if IGN gets the chance to preview a game, it's their job to talk about how the game plays. And so some people are like, why are you calling out these outlets when they're just doing their job and talking about how the game plays? But at the same time, there's an understanding that you want to hear more, essentially. Like you would want to hear more about what Ubisoft is doing to make sure that this Far Cry game isn't offensive to Hispanic culture, etc. And instead of that, he's just saying all we got was the same rote thing from every outlet. That's essentially what it is. Does anybody want to go before I rant about this quickly?
All I can say is like it is a little strange that all these like you said, they're doing their job, they're writing about the gameplay of this video game, but it does seem weird that Far Cry games, love or hate the story, they always have had these narratives, and as the series has been going on, it's been leaning more and more into that. I can definitely say that Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 6, I would say, are the games that highlighted its plot the most in terms of its marketing. And so for this game to be, publicized in all these different publications and really not delve deep into the story, it does seem a little odd. It seems, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that it was necessarily right to like call out the outlets, but it does seem strange that such a big part of this narrative-based video game is seemingly being ignored. It's more confusion than anything, is what I feel, honestly, in this particular instance.
That's fair.
Like, I feel like this is just me though. I feel like if an outlet is doing a preview of a game, then like things like the gameplay should be focused on, because I mean, you want to know how the game plays, but then when it comes to the story and all that stuff, and like you're mentioning, like how the game tackles all this political stuff, I think that belongs in the review of the game. So
also fair. What's also very
fair. That's just me personally. I feel like when I for example, when the preview of the stupid Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl thing that's coming out, I looked at, I went into that. I looked into those videos because I just wanted to see how the game plays. Like I didn't care about like,
sure,
is there a story? Is it like
that
Smash
game's
Bros.
Probably not even gonna have a story.
But I mean, you'd be surprised because I said the same thing about Smash, and they're like, there's a story. So
That's
like,
true.
yeah, I feel like there's a big broad difference between a preview of a game, because you want to know the mechanics of it, how it plays, and like, is there anything new in the way the game plays? Like, is it still the same Far Cry that you've played before? Did they add anything new? Did they switch any of the old mechanics? And then when it comes to the story and how they tackle stuff, I believe that goes in the review.
All right, I tend to agree with Gabe. I just wrote an impressions of Tales of Arise as my first Tales game on hpcritical.com, which you can check out at hpcritical.com. And I didn't write about the story in there because I don't know the fucking story. It was like a short demo version. I wrote about, my impressions of the video game. I didn't write about the story at all. I think that's totally okay because I can't spoil the story. So I tend to agree with Gabe on that. However, I also am going to say that I think it's okay to quote other outlets on your article. I know a lot of people didn't like the way it was quoted because this article does come off as like, oh, Kotaku didn't get to review it, so we're going to talk shit about everybody who did. And I think that's a big deal. I think that's why a lot of people are, are concerned about it. But at the same time, I feel like when it comes to peer reviews and when you're writing something, I have called out other websites in writing before because sometimes it is relevant to what I'm saying, and it's not necessarily a negative thing. It's just like this place said this place said this place said this. I'm going to tell you guys what I think they're missing. I also think that's fine. However, this person who wrote this article did a really shitty job at researching it before they wrote that article. And the reason I say that is because I follow enough people, enough PLC creators to know that a lot of them who Ubisoft did give previews to, they did talk about this. Specifically, they talked about this. So the fact that you wrote this article about all these big sites, but you've ignored everyone who actually does talk about this, means that before you write an article telling everyone that they're doing their review wrong, you've actually done your research wrong. Like, you just look like an asshole now. I wouldn't say that otherwise, but the fact that I was able to find previews of Far Cry 6 by Latinx creators who specifically talk about what you're saying everyone else misses means that your circle is too small and you're looking at these big outlets and looking for things that are missed elsewhere. How about you actually do your research before you write an article like this? Because now you just sound like an asshole. And I'm going to move on.
Fair. No, that's absolutely fair.
Unless Sterling has anything to say.
I really don't. I typically stay away from Ubisoft games. I think they're boring, and kind of like this. What is?
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Jarrell's reaction. Like, you're just like slowly put the.
That was not what I was expecting to hear. I don't play Ubisoft games. They're boring. Next.
Thank you, Nick.
You know what? You said what Kelly's thinking. It's fine.
I love Just Dance.
Mario Rabbids is kind of cool, I guess.
Too bad we're not covering Ubisoft games because they're workplace issues.
Yeah, I just find it strange that a lot of my Ubisoft is like knowledge is from back in the day with old Assassin's Creed, and they always preface each game with like, this has been made by a wide array of people of different cultures and religions, and it's like, how are some of your games so brain dead in the culture department that like, what is going on behind the scenes that like you're missing the mark so bad in some games, and like some of the ideas and storylines you're putting forward, it just not good. No.
Hey, talking about missing the mark, you know who missed the mark recently?
Ooh.
I'll tell you. Horizon Forbidden West will not offer a free upgrade from PS4 to PS5 on its standard or special editions, and you cannot pay to upgrade a standard edition to one that does include the PS5 version. Talk about missing the mark. But we're talking about last week. So before the update, I want to know what you guys felt about it.
Oh, that was shitty.
Fucking garbage, bro. Oh my gosh.
And it was shit. And the reasoning for why they did it was even shittier, honestly, because here's the thing. They were saying that like, games that come out within the launch of the PlayStation 5 that are cross-platform or within the launch window, you'll get free upgrades for those because we know you're not gonna get a PS5 right away. But, when you do upgrade to the ecosystem, you can have that free upgrade right into there. And then they were like, well, Horizon Forbidden West didn't make launch window. It's actually going to be coming out 2022. So technically it's not within a launch window. So yeah, you're going to have to pay for it. And of course, people were upset about that because they had previously said that, it was going to be a launch window game and therefore qualify, and then be like, well, we didn't make the date, so pay the money. It was just like, so yeah, people were upset. It's a shitty thing to do just because, it's not a bad thing that the game got delayed. Of course not. That's just gonna make the game better. But the fact that it removed itself from this deal that they had offered as a result, that was kind of shitty, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like you can't backtrack on something like that.
Yeah.
Even though they have backtracked on their decision, as Brandon said, has been updated, but like, come on, why would you even? Speaking of why would you even?
Let me just say this: some companies will just like, you know, they'll push the buttons as far as they can so that when, you know, they're like, oh, well, I'm sorry, here you go, and they're like, oh, hey, they're listening. Like sometimes companies, like, if you do the worst possible thing and then you do something that's just not quite as bad, people look at it a lot better because it's not as bad as the worst thing. That happened with I recently watched a documentary on the game Epic Mickey, and they made that game look as they make those Disney characters look dystopian AF, and just to see how far they could go. And then when Disney was like, oh, we don't like Goofy literally being like a scary looking robot, it's like, okay, so now this game is just about Mickey going to like some dark Disney worlds. Like, okay, that's dark, but hey, it's not as bad as that thing. I guess we can improve that.
I feel like that is such a bad example.
I was going to use the Microsoft example when they pushed the game, the Xbox Live to like, what was it, $60 a year? No,
Yeah.
That's what it is now.
Yes.
Oh,
but that one, when they did that, and then they were like, oh no, sorry guys, we're just kidding.
Yeah,
I only said that I think that's a bad example because that's harmless, right? Like to consumers, that's harmless. Do you get what I'm saying?
Sure, I see. I see.
But like this literally is affecting consumers. So like when it's on such a wide scale, I feel like the Microsoft example is a better example to what but I get what you're saying. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I completely understand. And you're right. Like, people will push the boundaries until like they want to see how far they can go, and then they scale back. I completely agree with you. I just think like that is a better example as the Microsoft one because like no one's getting hurt because Disney pulled this back. Whereas like we're all getting hurt if we can't get this free upgrade because everybody already has this fucking game. Anyway, speaking of bad ideas, or maybe good ideas, whatever, however you feel about it, Final Fantasy and PlayStation Now is a thing. Every month until January, a new title from the Legendary series joins PS Now's party. First up is Final Fantasy VII. In September, October will be Final Fantasy VIII, November will be Final Fantasy IX, December will be Final Fantasy X and X 2, and January will be Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. Talk about late to the party.
Where is Final Fantasy 13?
On Xbox Game Pass.
No,
that's where it is. You want to know?
Oh, that's literally what happened. Though.
It's on Xbox Game Pass. That's where it is. So does anyone know whether PlayStation Now is still the thing that you have to stream games from, or can you download them?
Oh, you still got to stream them games.
Yeah, like who wants to do that?
Yeah, look. Here's the thing. This would be cool AF if it wasn't for the fact that it wasn't on PS Now. Like, that's literally the deflated the whole announcement for me that all these games. Now, to be fair, some of those games are turn-based RPGs. Maybe it doesn't matter as much as the latency is bad if you're willing to deal with that. But like, it's still not even worth it. And here's the thing. Let's be real. Let's be perfectly real. Sony's doing this because Microsoft is out there chilling, announcing all these Square Enix games coming to Game Pass, and that's a fantastic deal. So PlayStation is like, oh, but we have some Final Fantasy games. Just put them on PS Now. It's the same thing. When they realize it's literally not the same thing, but they want to make it look like they got them too, so they don't lose the customers that like the Final Fantasies.
For real, because everyone played first on PlayStation because that's where they were. It's just such a hard sell to me because who is about to stream games? Not me. That's what
I want to know. Who the fuck is paying for PlayStation Now that they're doing this?
And I do know someone, answers. But like, you know, I asked them when they told me, I was like, why are you doing this? Like because most of the games you can literally buy for pretty cheap now.
Right. Yeah. Final Fantasy games, especially the legacy ones, are not that expensive.
And you get them and you don't have to stream them. So they're always gonna work. Like that's the thing.
Yeah. No, I feel like you said, like, because you both have said like who's using PS Now. It's just like this may just be a PR move, honestly. It's to sell people that, hey, there's Final Fantasy games on the PlayStation 2. Xbox isn't the only ones. We're not going to play them, but hey, it's cool they're doing it. Like, I really feel like that's what Sony's trying to do. Like, the two people that use PS Now maybe will take advantage of this, and then everybody else will be like, they're not thinking too much about PS Now or don't know how bad the streaming service is. They're like, it's cool that it's on there. I'm not going to play it there, but it's cool that it's on there. Not thinking about what PS Now actually is.
I
All
just
I'm
want to say,
literally just thinking about this from the perspective of someone who doesn't follow game news as heavily as we do. They're just looking at these games just getting dropped and not wondering what that means. Or maybe Sony's hoping that it's like, oh, it's on PS Now. Wow, I never looked too deeply into this. Maybe I should get in on this PS Now thing.
But you can still buy it on the PlayStation Store for cheap.
You sure can.
Which is crazy.
You sure can. I hope that's what people
Was
do.
it? Actually, whatever. Sterling, you saying?
I just want to say that a lot of people criticize Microsoft and Xbox for like failing in the past on the Japanese front of like games and the games they offer. But all I'm saying is that on Xbox Game Pass, I can play Final Fantasy 13 and Octopath Traveler, two of my favorite games, and not on PS Now. So fuck them kids.
I have
honestly, I finally canceled my Xbox Game Pass to play, like to use the money for my
play Final Fantasy 14.
I was gonna make a joke and said, "Oh, there's too many Final Fantasy games in this fucking Game Pass. I'm out." And
I paid for Xbox Game Pass for a year though. That's $150 that I paid for Xbox Game Pass. I played one game, and I didn't even play it. My boyfriend played Forza Horizon.
Damn.
$150. Could have bought him the deluxe edition. Like,
you could have. You know, Sterling. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, Final Fantasy 14. It's
and you know what? It's not available on Xbox. You know, Sterling. Really quickly, what you said. You know, you could play Octopath on the Switch.
I already got it. I got it on there.
Yeah,
too.
so it's not really exciting
Switch,
that it's on Game Pass, especially because it's an older game that was already played. And all those other Final Fantasy games on there, yeah, we've all played them already. And if you haven't, you can also play them on Switch. So, you know,
I'm just saying that PlayStation doesn't have those two games.
But
I know Switch does.
You can still go buy the disc and pop it into your PlayStation for $13. The same way you could have done with the Xbox version. So yeah, I'm not an Xbox Game Pass hater, I promise. I'm just saying it's not the go-to place for JRPGs like people feel like they can say that it is.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just like,
don't even have their own shit. Where's Final Fantasy 7 Remake? Where's Final Fantasy 14? It's all a lie.
I'm just being coy. Like I would never play those games.
The Final Fantasy 13 version on Game Pass just makes you log into like what, Xbox 360, and it's so ugly. Yeah, I know, Kelly. That's what I did when I turned on the game. It like literally took me back to my Xbox 360 profile, and I was like, "What is this? And why does this look so bad?"
That's kind of nostalgic,
like, it was. I remembered my little icon, and I was like, "Oh!" And then the game started playing, and I was like, "Ew! Like, why does this look like this?"
I'm shocked that it didn't receive any kind of improvements now being on series.
It did get better. Like it doesn't look bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look bad. But it is the 360 version of this game. Like it is not an upgraded version, which is very disappointing for me, who was super excited. But how about we move on to gaming news for this week? Everybody ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some this week video game nonsense or fun stuff. Who knows? We'll see what I bring up this week. Bugsnax, how many of you guys played it? Doesn't matter. The developer of Bugsnax is permanently transitioning to a 4-day work week in an attempt to give its employees a healthier work-life balance. I'm sure we all agree with that, right? Everybody thinks that's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Bugsnax, they need to put more work into that game.
Okay, you know who? You know, that was so unfair. You know who also needs to put more work into how she views the world? Scarlett Johansson. I'm about to talk shit about her a little bit because we found out a little bit more about this lawsuit, and Scarlett Johansson asked for $100 million after Black Widow shifted to Disney Plus to a Disney Plus simultaneous release. This is from GameSpot.com. This includes a $20 million starting salary and $80 million in what was projected to be the box office started net. Did I read that right? Sure.
I don't know.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, turns out that the negotiations started. She was paid $20 million as a starting salary. She asked for $100 million. Apparently the negotiations fell through somewhere. The movie made $372 million worldwide. 100 million of 372 million is a lot. That's a huge cut for a single.
You want a third of the movie just because it didn't make it to theaters?
That is a lot of money for a single.
Rather.
Like, That's crazy. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into this too much. All we know so far is that the outgoing Disney CEO Bob Iger reportedly opted to stay out of the matter. He was on a boat when the lawsuit came in. And Disney Studio executive Alan Horn was not involved in this case either. He's expected to step down later. And yeah, right. And then it passed on to two other people, and supposedly they never sent emails or calls back and didn't take the negotiations seriously, and that's where the lawsuit came from. The more information that comes out, the worse this woman looks to me. Like, how you got to pay $20 million, and your negotiations start at $100 million. Like,
start at 100 million. Like,
ma'am,
what?
It is a pandemic, ma'am. Like, the movie only made 360 million, and this was your estimate before you knew how much it made. Now that you know it made 360 million, you should feel like an asshole for, like Brandon said, asking for 1/3 of the movie's revenue. Miss, what are you doing with your life? What do you think is happening in the world right now?
I do want to bring one thing up. The fact that you said that this started off as an attempted negotiation before it became a lawsuit clears so much up for me, because I want like right after we recorded the episode where we first talked about this lawsuit, I was catching up on some YouTube videos on the Disney Plus YouTube channel, and there was a straight up interview with Scarlett Johansson on that video where she was like, at the very end, is like, be sure to catch Black Widow on Disney Plus and in theaters. And I'm like, you recorded that and you're still in a lawsuit? Like, what is going on here? So the fact that there was an attempt at a negotiation beforehand, it doesn't make her seem any better, but it just makes things make more sense. Because if it was just like, you recorded that and then he lost suit, I'm like, what the? That would be even
I actually
worse.
feel like this makes her look worse. I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, thinking, okay, there were no negotiations done that were acceptable. Like, this is why she's suing. She had no idea that they were going to do this Disney Plus thing. Now I'm like, oh, so you tried to negotiate, started super high. You knew it was coming to Disney Plus, and now you're mad? Like, now you just look worse to me.
Yeah. The fact that they got it for that video to like promote it, and then this comes. Yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good regardless. That's what I'm saying. It makes more sense, but it looks terrible.
Anyone else on this?
The only thing I get out of this is that now the Russo brothers say they might not make any more Marvel movies because of this. That's a little sad, but besides that,
very sad.
I don't really give a damn.
That doesn't even make sense to me either, but okay, y'all.
I didn't read into that. There's a whole article on it and explain it, but whatever. As long as they keep, I can't say his name, so I'm just gonna say the movies he's directed, the Thor 3 Ragnarok director. As long as they keep him in the
he's great.
Taika Waititi.
I'm sorry, they're not called the Russo brothers anymore, right?
No.
I don't know.
No,
the article said Russo brothers. So.
All right, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, as long as they keep him in good spirits and they keep him happy and he gets to keep doing, I'm okay with whatever Marvel and Disney are doing. In terms of movie wise, I'm not always on board with Disney's practices. Sorry.
I want to point out that Robert Downey Jr. only got paid $75 million for Endgame, and she wants $100 million.
How much does she get paid? Do you know? Does anyone know how much she got paid for Endgame?
Probably not as much.
Sterling's gonna look it
the
up
thing
right
is,
now.
she's is she not an executive producer on Black Widow as well? Like, or a producer on Black Widow? Like, so I can understand wanting a little more money, miss. Like, I get it. You helped produce this film. Like, I completely understand, but you want more money. But you know what? I can't fathom $100 million, and I actually no longer care. So
and like you said though, like 100 million of 300 million. Meanwhile, Endgame made like $3.7 billion. And by the way, she made 14 million for Endgame.
I'm sorry, Robert Downey Jr. made how much?
75.
And she made how much?
13.
Dang, that's why she was like, fucking kill me. I don't blame her now. Like, if he made 70 million and I only made almost 14 million, that's a pretty
big disparity considering how big a role she played in Endgame.
And now I take it all back. You know what?
She had like a 5-minute important role in Endgame.
She was actually just really annoying to me, but okay. I take it all back though. I'm with her now. Get your 100 million, girl. Fuck it. You got 70 million to die, so you should get 100 million to die. Fuck it. I take it all back. Sue him all to hell, Scarlett. I still hate you, but sue him all to hell. That disparity in the amount of money is actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that is way too big of a difference. You get your
It is wild how bad like of PR she gets all the time, but like she's so
No,
highly
it's not
regarded.
wild. Oh, okay. Because she deserves most of it.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
Like-
she gets so much hate, but like she's still so big in Hollywood. Like it's so
Bruh.
strange.
Hello, pretty white girl. Stop it. It's not strange at
Pretty?
all.
True.
Exactly. It's not strange at all. Come on. Speaking of strange things, let's talk a little bit about this article on Life is Strange, a review from Washington Post, and then we're going to talk about PlayStation presentation from today, and then we're going to be done.
Cool.
There's a review on the Washington Post for Life is Strange True Colors, and it says Life is Strange True Colors sidesteps the discussion of race, emotional manipulation, and sexuality. True Colors centers, oh no, where is it? This is written by Shannon Liao. Oh my god, the Washington Post website has so many pop-up ads, y'all. Watch out if you go there. In Life is Strange True Colors, you play a queer Asian American woman named Alex Chen who, chewed up and spit out by the foster care system, is searching for home and community. That home could be the fictional Haven Springs, Colorado, where her older brother Gabe welcomes her with open arms, a new apartment, and a shiny guitar. I'm not going to go into more details about this just in case anyone wants to play the game, but this article does say most glaringly True Colors centers Asian American characters, though its story could be about anyone of any background. The game never talks about race except for showing an Asian style shrine at one point, and so its diverse casting feels inconsequential. We don't live in a post-racial society, as nice as that would be, and by avoiding the subject almost entirely, True Colors draws in fans who want representation without living up to those fans' excitement and expectations. So we just talked earlier a little bit about the whole Far Cry thing, and the person wanting to see Far Cry reviews talk about the nuances of ethnicity, etc. And it turns out that Life is Strange True Colors does not do that. How do you guys feel about that?
I didn't know shit about the game, so.
Okay. So with Life is Strange True Colors, that's kind of odd, honestly. Not odd that they're covering the story aspect of it, because that game is story. That's what it's about, right? But as far as the fact that it kind of the premise of the game anyway, leans into like these not talked about subject, like a main character that is minority and queer, but doesn't kind of like lean into that for its like story aspects. I feel like it's something that the previous Life is Strange games were really good at, talking about subjects that were often not talked about. So the fact that True Colors doesn't deal with it as much it's weird. It's kind of weird that they seem to have strayed away from what I think what made the game or the series special to a lot of people. I know Grayson adores the Life is Strange games because of them tackling these subjects. I just feel like that if that's what they're discussing in this case, that True Colors, I don't think it's going to come out of a bad game for not leading into those subjects, but I think it's probably not going to resonate with as many people as a result. It depending on who the audience for the game is.
You think? I disagree completely. But
It
that's
depends.
just my shtick.
It just depends, honestly, because people played Life is Strange for different reasons. Some people play it because they highly relate to these characters. Some people love the just the story aspect of it, regardless of who's doing what. And some people just like the unique gameplay because it's similar to Telltale games, except that you have more gameplay involved with it because the main characters usually have like these powers. Like the first Life is Strange, the main character was able to stop and rewind time, and then that led to like some puzzle game aspects of it. So there are people that like it for that reason. Like it just really depends on who what you go into Life is Strange for is probably going to affect your overall enjoyment of it based on what I'm hearing, but it could, again, it's different for different people.
All right, anybody else?
I think it's weird to go into a game and say like, oh, this character is this sexuality or they're this ethnicity. It's like, why isn't this the focus of the game? Like, why are you pigeonholing these stories to be like, well, the character's Asian. Why isn't it talking about Asian problems? It's like that's not always the focus on like, just because a character is something doesn't mean that's what the story has to be. Like they could just have normal, like basic problems like everyone else. Like we're all just people. And it's like if the creators and the writers wanted to tell a specific story, like that's the story they wanted to tell. Like yes, like the issues that whoever wrote this article about are very prevalent, but not everything has to be that. And if I don't know, that's just my opinion.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, I kind of agree. Like, it doesn't have to just be like, okay, we have this certain type of person and they're only going to have this certain type of problem. They said they made it more like relative to a lot of different people. I feel like a lot more people could relate instead of just like one specific problem. But at the same time, like, representation matters, and maybe they should have represented it a little bit more. But like I said, I feel like more people can relate like this. And if that's a story they wanted to tell, then I think that they're gonna get their story across. But I haven't played one of these games ever, so.
Gabe, you want to add anything?
No, I was just gonna say what Sterling said is kind of very similar, and if I'm misquoting you on this, I'm sorry. But when we got the first look at Forspoken, one of the things that you said that really stood out to me was like they made a game, you know, with these fictional characters, but it's, you know, it's a black girl who she's doing what you see other people do, you know, fighting dragons and stuff. And like it's I can't remember exactly how you said, but it's like,
is this something I said?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was when we first saw Forspoken, a peak of Forspoken. You know, it's like what Sterling said, like, you know, because the character looks a certain way or is represented, not necessarily represented, but looks a certain way, you know, if they're making a game out of it, it doesn't always have to focus on what they're going through, because sometimes people just want to escape into, you know, a different reality. They don't want to necessarily deal with everything they have to deal with in real life. But
bro, what are all of you talking about? I'm gonna tell you how this really works. Okay,
I lost track.
Let me tell you something. When I play a video game with a black character in it, if they are not harassed by the police at least once, I don't care if it's fictional or not, it's not a real game. I want to see this girl have to fight dragons and then be like, black people wouldn't do this. And then I'm gonna be like, you're right, we wouldn't. And that's how I know it's a real game. And if they don't put that in the game, trash.
So are the police going to be riding the dragon?
Probably.
Are they gonna put a siren in between the horns?
Knowing how shitty police are to black people, probably, you know, Square Enix should just throw them in there and just, you know, have her be chased by cops on Dragonback, and then I'll be like, this is real. I understand this feeling.
Just the line from that last, not the one in the PlayStation, but the previous Forspoken trailer. Just the lines like, is that a fucking police riding a dragon?
Exactly. No, I'd be like, wow, y'all got it right. Like, you got the experience correct. This is obviously me joking about the situation. Clearly, that was a joke. I'm not being serious. I think it goes both ways. I'm gonna make this really quick because I'm really tired. I think it goes both ways. And by that I mean this. I do believe the person who reviewed this is Asian of Asian descent. So I think she is completely valid to feel like, hey, you know, I it's the same thing you said about Forspoken. When I saw the preview for Life is Strange: True Colors after Forspoken, one of the things I said was, holy shit, this is awesome. You have an Asian character, you have a black character, and they're going to be at the forefront of these video games. That's really fucking cool. So with a game like Life is Strange, I have not played one of them, but I do know that it centers around character. I do think it's really weird for a game like this to not center around the character's ethnicity. But I also do agree that there are times in which sometimes you just want to live and be, and not everything is about your ethnicity. So I completely understand where you guys are coming from, but I do think specifically because this is Life is Strange, it is a little weird that Life is Strange, which is known to, like, the previous one, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the previous game was about two Mexican Americans crossing the border with because of racial issues. So it's really weird that this game doesn't touch that at all. And I think it can be disappointing for a lot of, you know, Asian ethnic blah blah blah. Oh God, I'm so tired. Ethnically Asian players. Oh my God, I'm sorry guys. I think it can be disappointing to be excited to be like, oh shit, look at this, you know, the main character, she's like me, she looks like me, that's super dope, and then go in and start playing and be like, oh well, she didn't even, you know, do this or that. Like she's nothing compared to what I thought she would be based on my own experiences. So of course that can be disheartening, but at the same time they can get away with it because she was in a foster home apparently. So she could just be like, I don't know shit about Asian culture because I never lived it, and this is who I am as a character, and that's totally okay too. So yeah, I think it goes both ways. But you know, it doesn't go both ways.
It doesn't go both ways, Terrell.
I could have made a joke. I'm not gonna make it.
You really could have.
It's what doesn't go both ways is this podcast, because we're gonna talk about one more thing instead of two, and that is the PlayStation presentation from today. Unless there's anything I'm missing that anybody wants to bring up super quick. Is there anything I'm missing that's super big that you want to talk about? 3, 2, 1. No. All right, cool. So I'm gonna talk about everything that happened today, and then you guys can just tell me what made your I shouldn't say that. What made you happy?
Did you almost quote what I said in the general chat?
I almost quoted what Gabe said when he saw some stuff, and I'm not going to. So here are all the announcements from the PlayStation Showcase today. Gran Turismo 7 is going to arrive on PS5 and PS4 March 4th. We got the first look at God of War Ragnarok, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection coming to PS5 and PC. Chia creating a game inspired by New Caledonia. Oh, wow. Down the Rabbit Hole and Deathloop story trailer. Blood Hunt comes to PlayStation 5 in 2021, which I'd like, please someone tell me what that is because I still don't know. Yes, it literally just looked like a PvP vampire game where you could just pick a vampire class.
PvP vampire game.
Oh, I was right. Holy shit. Thanks, Kelly. They got a breakdown the story trailer for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which still looks like shit, my bad. Face the Unknown and new Ghostwire Tokyo trailer. GTA 5 and GTA Online now coming to PS5 March 2022. Rewriting History, Alan Wake's Remastered brings the writer's story to PS4 and PS5. Nobody asked for that. Welcome to the world of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction. I'm gonna stop talking in between these. I'm sorry. Journey with Frey to Forspoken's fantastical world next spring. Best presentation. Okay, that's the last one. Breaking down Tiny Tina's Wonderland's gameplay trailer and a new look at the stylish action of Project Eve, which also looks really good. And of course, it started with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake and the Legendary Tale remade on PlayStation 5. That was everything shown on the PlayStation Showcase.
Whoa.
Did I miss something?
Got the Insomniac Games.
Oh shit, yeah. Insomniac totally mentioned Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. Whoopsie. In my defense, I totally read this from the PlayStation blog. So PlayStation blog didn't even mention everything that was showcased. So it's on them, not me.
I guess they were focusing on games that were more on the horizon.
Perhaps.
Nah, they just wrong. It says PlayStation Showcase, the complete recap by Sid Schumann.
Did they also talk about Deathloop or?
Yeah, I mentioned
they did. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I only didn't.
It's a PlayStation event. Of course they did.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. They keep talking about this game. Although I will say this is the best looking preview they've shown for Deathloop. It actually that's the one where I was like, okay, I think I know what this game is about now. That's cool.
Honestly, I think the trailers are starting to have the reverse effect where I'm like, I am so sick of this game. Like, I don't want to fucking buy it.
Oh, dude, it's the opposite for me. Like, I could care less about Deathloop in the beginning, and now I'm streaming it on Tuesday because I'm getting it.
All right, well, I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna just tell you guys all the best things for me. God of War Ragnarok, that boy looks so annoying, and I really hope that he doesn't ruin the game for me. His son, oh my god. Like, the whole time I was like, I don't want to play this because he looks like he is going to annoy the fuck out of me. Like,
did you play the first one?
Not yet. I
love Atreus in the first one.
Why?
What? He's so annoying.
What? He's a piece of shit in the first one.
So annoying.
Like,
wow.
This is the
first time I've heard this. Almost everyone I've heard says they like Atreus. This is the first time I've heard Atreus.
I've never heard someone say they like Atreus.
No,
my cousin is a very calm person. And after playing like the first 3 hours, he was like, dude, I've never wanted to punch the teeth in a kid until now. And I'm like, well, goddamn.
Well, if Gabe and Sterling don't like him, I 100% am not going to like him. I saw this trailer and I was like, child, shut the fuck up.
Don't trust anecdotal evidence, kids. That's my lesson for today.
There you go. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna be so annoying. Bloodhunt I was confused about, but it's been explained to me. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy looks worse and worse every time I see it. Oh my god, literally every time I see a trailer I'm like, how could this look worse than it did before? Gamora's hair doesn't move, y'all. It stays like this no matter what she does. And I was like, so it's like, this is it. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's so disgusting. And I was reminded that you can only play as Star-Lord, which is also so disappointing to me. So that was not cool. Ghostwire Tokyo looked cool, but it also looked like it was from 2016. Oopsie. Alan Wake also looks like it's from 2016. I'm not sure why it's coming to PlayStation. I literally was like, who asked for this? Whoever
A lot
did.
of people.
Congratulations. just go play it on old Xbox, like, bro. Like,
You can't. That game got delisted.
well, I see why. If it looks like it does, I understand why it got delisted. And the best two announcements for me personally were Project Eve, which looks super fucking cool. I don't know what it was, but I was like, pretty women with long hair kicking ass, like, let's go. Like, I don't know what's happening, but this looks amazing. I caught a little bit of it. I was driving, unfortunately, so I missed the beginning of it, but that shit looks super dope. I'd love to play that. And of course, finally, we got more on Forspoken. I love this game so much. It was like specifically made for me, is all I can say. Like, I watch it and I was just like, yo, like, real world mixed with fantasy just thrown in. Like, it's everything I've ever wanted in a video game, and it just looks so beautiful, and it's starring this beautiful black woman, and it's just so exciting, and I'm so ready to put that game in my veins. That was it for me. Oh yeah, and Spider-Man looked cool too, I guess. Also, like, I don't know why they showed 5 seconds of Wolverine. I was like, does he? I guess it's for hype, for people like
it's excitement.
Yeah, no, that's that. It was dope. All right, I'm done. Somebody else, go. Hurry. I'm sleepy. Go. Tell me what you think.
Okay, I'll go next. So I'm just gonna lead off with like the excitement that got me the most excited, like by far, the Knights of the Republic remake. I've said multiple times in this podcast how much I adore Knights of the Republic 1. And like the fact that this game is like getting like a full remake, it's just that's gonna look like so good. I'm just so excited. I will admit I was a little bit worried about like the developer Aspire, not because they do bad work, it's just because this is way bigger than anything they've ever done. Like their main thing has been like porting like the legacy Star Wars games like modern consoles, and they've done a good job. They've done some like quality of life stuff on that, but this is a full remake of a game that's like heavily beloved. But on the little post talk after the showcase, they talked to someone at Aspire, and they got a team specifically made for this with like veteran industry people, former developers of Knights of the Republic. They understand that this is a big project, and it seems like they're ready to do it. So I'm optimistic. I'm definitely looking forward to this game because I just love Knights of the Republic. Talking real quick about the Insomniac Games, Wolverine. Yeah, that was a really short trailer for something that I assume is going to be coming up before Spider-Man 2. But yeah, it was a nice hype thing because I saw Insomniac, I saw Marvel, I thought it was gonna be Spider-Man 2 right then and there. And then the claws came out and they showed Wolverine. I was like, what? And then of course Spider-Man 2 got shown later. Now, Spider-Man 2, obviously I'm excited about that because I adored the first Spider-Man game, and I haven't finished Miles Morales, but I do enjoy what I've played. But I'm of two minds about it because as hype as I am to see it and see a trailer for it, I really don't think we needed to see this game that's coming out in 2023. Especially since what's 100%. Being shown, since what's being shown in this trailer is pretty much what we already knew. Like, okay, Spider-Man 2 is gonna have the main characters be Peter Parker Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man. We already knew that, and also the fact that Venom is gonna be in the game. If that, I'm just gonna real minor spoiler, but Venom like is teased at the end of this Marvel Spider-Man game, so we knew that too. So like,
yeah, whoa.
I'm sorry, I did not finish or play that game. We did not know that.
Yeah.
It was on the back burner, but
okay, but now you know because Venom is right there. So I'm sorry, Sony spoiled it before I did. There we go.
Man, I'm gonna throw my PS5 out.
All right, fine. I'll enjoy the game in 2 years. But again, it's too early. It was just a bit too early. Minor note, I hope Venom is playable, but that's
Wolverine doesn't have a release date, right?
It doesn't. I'm just assuming it.
That's what looks like it's so far off too.
No, I do not agree with what you said, Brandon. I think that game is like farther off than Spider-Man 2.
Than Spider-Man 2, like, I completely agree.
No way they would just show a 5
farther away than 2023 though.
Yeah. Without
at
a
least in the
doubt.
same year.
Oh my God. Then if that's the case, then I take back what I said about being excited for Wolverine. I don't want to know about a game that's coming out 3 years from now. Like that's what I'm going to say about that.
Are you a Legend of Zelda fan?
Yeah, they don't tell us about games that far in advance.
We knew about Breath of the Wild since 2014. No.
That game got delayed though. That game got delayed.
And
Like, it
what's to
wasn't
say that
intended to be
Wolverine
that
and Spider-Man didn't get delayed because of COVID?
Yeah, but then why would they have shown it now if they knew this was going to?
When it's my turn to talk, I will say.
Okay, fair. What else? Project Eve looks cool. I'm excited to see more. Forspoken looks amazing. I can't wait. Alan Wake Remastered. I've never looked at Alan Wake, but I know a lot of people that like it, so I might give it a try. Why the hell is Grand Theft Auto 5 remaster being delayed again? Like, what the hell? What are they putting in this game?
COVID.
But what are they putting in?
I don't know. I'm literally just giving all companies the pass of, hey, COVID.
I thought you meant they were putting COVID in the game. I was like,
I mean,
oh.
it's Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't doubt it. They have everything
online
in that
experience
game.
now. Everyone has to wear masks in game.
I don't doubt they would.
Like, there's gonna be a mission where you have to like beat up like 20 people not wearing masks in the street.
That would be so real too, because
there
it's
was.
just a sad time.
Man, they would.
Oh, did I say that out
totally
loud?
Would. Oh man. I continue to not know what Ghostwire Tokyo is, but it looks kind of cool. Deathloop, I mean, I'm playing it Tuesday, so we'll see how cool that is. I don't care. I'm so excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. Anyway, moving on. What
sorry,
else?
Brandon.
Yeah, like it is what it is. I'm excited for it. Was that everything? I guess so. Like it was a pretty packed showcase. There's a lot of cool stuff there. There's just so much that's like far away. I guess that's my only really negative about it. There's just, like I liked a lot of that was shown there. It's just like some of it is just so far away. It's just, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Cool stuff. Can't wait to play it, but I'm gonna have to like erase a lot of it from my mind because otherwise I'll just drive myself crazy for the waits.
I kept thinking this is what Sony has to show off because they weren't at E3, and then I was like, well, now I see why they weren't at E3.
Yeah.
But also I was like, yo, PlayStation Studios is making some serious work. Like,
they are making work.
Studios they acquired are putting in fucking work on these games that are coming out, and it's gonna be amazing. Who's next? You know who bought a bunch of studios that aren't showing their work yet?
Xbox. Sorry. Ooh, Bethesda.
All right, who's next? Y'all got 10 minutes.
Whatever. I don't really care. I don't play PlayStation. Project Eve. Honestly, the only thing that stood out to me about Project Eve, obviously, beautiful woman fighting monsters, the blood. Like the blood. It was so gory. There was like so much blood. I was like, all right, I'm listening. You know. I don't really care about any Marvel anything. I haven't played any of the Spider-Man games since Ultimate Spider-Man on the PlayStation 2. So don't care. Don't care about God of War, Gran Turismo. Don't care. Deathloop looks weird. Like it looks like unfinished or something. Like it's really like weird and like blocky, but I'm kind of into it. I don't know. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I played Borderlands 3, so I'd probably check that out. I actually was really surprised. I was like listening to the showcase, and then I was like, that's Tiny Tina's voice. Like before I even saw it, and I looked, and it was, and I was like, oh shit, okay. So I cared about that. And I mean, yeah, Forspoken was really
it looks so good. Oh my god.
Probably the best thing that they showed to me. Like
hard agree.
You know, like first there was a cat, and I was like, oh shit. Shit's getting real. And then she like went through the portal, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, this must be that game with the dragons, because she was like in a castle. I was like, okay. And then I watched, and like the fucking dragons look legit, and it looks gorgeous.
Yo, that world is huge.
Yeah, it looks.
Watching and be like, that is a huge world. Oh my god,
it looks really good. And also, Blood Hunt was the vampire one. I watched some gameplay. I saw someone streaming on Twitch, one of my favorite streamers. It just looked really like generic to me. I'm not sure. I haven't played it, but it seems like a fast pace, almost like something that's going to be hit or miss. I don't know. But and they also called it like there's way longer of a title. I don't even remember. It's like Vampire Love of the Hunt, Blood Hunt, or some shit. Like I don't know what it's called, but. Blood Hunt would have been a lot better name, guys. Just maybe shorten it. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Right off the bat, don't give a shit about Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't give a shit about Blood Hunt. I'm very tired of seeing Deathloop. I'm gonna be honest. Eve looks sick. That was I honestly thought it was gonna be a near automatic, like a near game. It looked very similar in like just the way the characters moved and such, but looks sick.
I was like, what is this Bayonetta game? I want it.
Yeah, exactly. As most people know, I'm not a huge like Western game fan. I have so much more affinity to Japanese games. But I am super excited for God of War. I love the first game. I think it's interesting that Cory Barlog is not directing this game that came out like after the trailer. So definitely a little revelation. I agree with Jarrell. Atreus looks annoying as hell again. Like he's like, I feel like he's in a like teenage phase, so it's like he's gonna be even worse now somehow. What else? The Tokyo game, what was it, Ghostwire or whatever?
Ghostwire Tokyo, yeah.
Again, I thought the same as Jarrell. Like this game looks really weirdly bad. I disagree with him on the fact that I do kind of want to try Alan Awake just because it's like a horror game and I love those. And I think that's it. I really wish there was something Final Fantasy at this presentation. I was really hoping for something.
Do not rush Yoshi P. He's working on 16 and 14. You leave my lovely, beautiful man alone.
Yeah, they could have had like 7
nope.
Remake.
No one's allowed to talk about him here.
Okay.
Oh, that's not him. All right, never mind. You can talk about him.
But yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and fit this into the time we have remaining. For the benefit, not the benefit of doubt, the first thing I'm gonna say is Forspoken automatically. It's gonna be one of the Game of the Year nominations. I know Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out, but I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be one of those games up there. The game looked amazing. It looked so like when you think open world, it definitely looked open. It was like busted wide open world. Like it was huge. It looked huge. It looked so much fun. I'm not even gonna say that. That's gonna be mean. I'm on high praises for Forspoken. Cannot wait to play that game. Definitely buying it day one. To be nice, since Brandon's excited for Guardian of the Galaxy, I will say that this time around, even though it still looks kind of clanky and a little weird, they did fix a lot of the shading issues in the last trailer. The last trailer looked very discolored and a little weird, but this time it looked like, okay, the colors match this time. Probably not gonna buy that game off the bat because it's just, I like Terrell said, I don't. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I only get to play as one of them. Now the Marvel games. Excited for Wolverine. Automatically, when I saw Insomniac and Marvel, and I saw a bar, and I saw a bunch of people on the floor, I was like, "This is 100% X-Men or Wolverine."
Mm-hmm.
The only guy that constantly has a bar setting every time he's introduced, no matter what. And as soon as I saw someone sitting at the bar, I'm like, "Yeah, that's him." Excited for that. Me personally, I'm feeling a little MVGU coming on, Marvel Video Game Universe, because I mean we got Spider-Man, we got Miles Morales,
maybe.
And in the comics, Wolverine and Spider-Man actually do work quite a lot, and
yeah,
Venom also goes after Wolverine every now and then too, because it's like, hey, you can't die, I can't die, let's just beat the shit out of each other for fun. But then for the Spider-Man game, the reason I think they showed it off now, despite us or the people who have played through both the games completely, think, they see that Venom's going to be the villain or whatever. There's two reasons. One, there's a second villain that we were introduced to, and I strongly think it's Mobius because they took way too long showing Venom in all that pitch black darkness. And two, they were showing us it's a co-op game because the entire trailer was Miles Morales and Peter Parker fighting together. So it's not, to me, I think they're like, hey, we know the last two Spider-Man games have been you're one character for 90% of the time, and you do a couple of missions as another character. But for this one, it's going to be, you're going to have the option of, co-op or online play. And a lot of the missions are going to be side by side with the other Spider. So
makes sense.
I'm excited. And then also I feel like them telling us 2023 is a hopeful sign that, hey, it's not going to come out holiday 2023 or the second half. It's going to come out a lot sooner, maybe January, February. Besides that, Deathloop, the only reason I'd want to play Deathloop at this point is for the main character, because he had some very funny lines during the trailer. Yeah, when he saw himself, he was like, that's what I look like. Damn, I look good. I'm like, I want to play that. That looks funny. And then also because they, like Jarrell said, we finally kind of have an idea of what the game's about. Like, you're going to be hunting other people down in a race with somebody else. And it's not like just random people. It's like you have a list of targets. Don't care about Alan's Wake. The Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, I'm excited for that just because it's a new Star Wars game. And I know I get to wield the lightsaber in there. Wish they would have told us a little bit more on that. But
yeah, that game's not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, they just showed Darth Revenant or whatever the hell his name is, and
yeah, Darth Revenant on.
But yeah, can't wait. The first half of 2022 is going to be so exciting. Forspoken, Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild 2, fingers crossed, Pokemon Arceus. But yeah, I'm excited.
The 2 is looking good.
And that was a successful wrap up. Thank you guys for being a part of the HPCritical Podcast once again. Thank you for everyone who's listening. Sorry we were gone last week. We're back this week. You'll see us next week maybe.
Yeah.
I'll be tired. Thank you, Sterling, for coming on to guest with us last minute. Awesome to see you again. Thank you, Kelly, Brandon, and Gabe, as always. And with that, good night, everybody. We will see you later. Bye.
Bye. Bye.